This is Paul, and he lives close by, and he's a mango nut, and been in love with mangoes since he was 8 years old, and he has mango trees on his property, and I want him to tell you all about what mango trees he chose for his yard and what he's been doing recently to update his selection.
Okay. Well, it all started with, Walter telling me, why don't you just plant your own mango trees? And I was like, okay. So because I was always buying them from him. So I thought, oh, I love the kit. So I planted a kit. But at the same time, I wanted to be able to have mangoes for an elongated season. So I planted a Chacanon. And a Chacanon I thought would be bearing twice a year. Well, you know how that goes. It didn't ever bear twice a year, but it was a good idea at the time. We also planted a dot, because I loved the dot mango. And my neighbor gave me a mango that was grown from a seed. And there were two little mangoes that were intertwined. And he's really into horticulture, so I let him grow up, and of course one of them dominated the other. And then I waited and I waited, and I was hoping to have these wonderful mangoes off of this tree, and it turned out I didn't really like them when they finally bore, like 8 or 10 years later. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with this tree? I just don't know, because I'm just going to cut it off and plant another one in that spot, I guess. And then I heard about, somebody said something about top working a tree, and this was all new to me, and I was like, oh wow, that's a great idea. So I guess I got the number for her from Chris, and he came up, he told me I sent him pictures of the tree, and he said just cut it off at about this level and let me know when there's 4 or 5 growth flushes coming off of it, and then we'll top graft it. So that's what I did. I cut it off about chest level, and sure enough, like 100 sprouts came out. And after, I guess I cut it back in April, by late July we had a hairball of a tree, and I just took a picture of it, sent it to her. He said, oh, that's just perfect, that's just right to graft now. So I had him come over, and he grafted a Florigon, which I know a lot of people don't like that, but my wife loves Florigon, so he grafted Florigon. I like it too, I think it's fantastic. But anyway, he grafted the Florigon onto it, just on 6 sprouts or 7 sprouts that were coming out, and lo and behold, every single one of them took. So now I have this very nice bushy Florigon tree where that mango was that I did not like. So that was my first foray into grafting. I watched hard graft. I helped him hold stuff and watched him carefully, and next thing you know, it said, well, my Chacanon on the side, which my wife does not like at all, maybe I can top graft that. So that's the project I've been working on most recently. It's kind of an escalier tree, which is taking up the entire side yard. But at the end of it, I'm grafting sweet tart onto it. And we've got 5 grafts on there that I think 5 out of 9 took the first time. And those are really doing well. So now I just grafted like 16 more of the sweet tart onto that end of the tree. So I'm hoping that that end of the tree will be completely sweet tart. And in the middle, I just got a tree from Chris a couple weeks ago that was lemon zest, and Har tells me that the lemon zest does well in this kind of a situation. I'm right down the street here, so I'm still on the coastal dune, and with the sea breeze and so forth, apparently the lemon zest does pretty well. So I planted the lemon zest in the ground and took some scions off that, and I grafted it into the center of the tree. So now I'm hoping to have lemon zest in the middle, sweet tart on the side, and maybe some chacanon left over, but we'll see what happens with that. But so far, all the grafts are still green. I'm very, very happy with the progress. And the dot is just recovering from the hurricane. I trimmed it back to keep the top from blowing off during the hurricane, and it's just recovering from all that. We also have branched out into other types of fruit like lychees, black sapote, let's see, bananas. I have lots of bananas, and canistel. We just planted a canistel, and last but not least, the Lisa Edamoya. So it's a little small yard, but we're trying to pack as much stuff into it as I can. And my little niece comes over, she says, "Polly's yard's like a farm." And everybody got a big kick out of that. So it's a little paradise for me.
Oh, good. Keeps you off the streets, too.
Exactly.
Well, thanks very much.
Mm-hmm.